Serious about our commitment as your local election headquarters. Local 24 News is the only Memphis station bringing you live debates in both statewide races. On October 12th, gubernatorial candidates Carl Dean and Bill Lee face off in Nashville. But first, on October 10th, it's Marsha Blackburn versus Phil Bredesen in a statewide Senate debate from Knoxville. Katina and I will be there for both debates. Watch them live only on Local 24 News. On such a big night in politics, let's go one-on-one with Local 24 political analyst and commentator Otis Sanford. So, Otis, 2 rallies in 2 days. Last night in East Tennessee for Marsha Blackburn, and tonight for Cindy Hyde-Smith. Air Force One's burning up the jet fuel and will likely burn a lot more between now and November.
Oh, absolutely they are. This just shows you how tight, especially the race in Tennessee is, Richard. Marsha Blackburn is in a nail-biting race here with Phil Bredesen. The poll that you mentioned just earlier about older voters, you kind of wash that out with when you look at all voters, and Phil Bredesen in some polls has a slight lead. Marsha Blackburn has a slight lead in other polls. This shows just how tight this race is. And of course in Mississippi, you have Cindy Hyde-Smith, who President Trump is trying to get over 50% so she won't be involved in a runoff.
When the Supreme Court confirmation hearings were first started, the president was much more subdued and understanding about Christine Blasey Ford. He said she was very credible, in fact. But everyone's taking note of tonight in South Haven, the president mocked her repeatedly.
Yeah, Richard, I have to say, putting my commentary hat on here for a second, I think this was pretty shameful. He did say late last week that he thought that she was very compelling, she was very credible, she was a fine woman. But then when he gets out on these carnival-like stomps, then he gets fueled up by the crowd, and he goes after this woman. And I just think that that was not the right move to make, and it was pretty shameful in a lot of respects.
Well, he was talking to the home crowd. As we know, DeSoto County voted for Trump 65 to 31% or something like that. All right, so the governor's debate tonight at the U of M, the first one in this race, both sides claiming victory tonight. You were in the crowd tonight. Carl Dean has some ground to make up. He's behind in the polls. What did you think?
Well, I think in terms of talking specifically about the issues and some solutions, I think Carl Dean probably did a little bit better than Bill Lee. I think in the closing statements, I think Lee was a little bit more personal. He told a story about a person voting for him in the primary, and it really humbled him. And so he directly asked for the votes of the audience. So it was a little bit more personal than Carl Dean. But when it came to issues, especially issues akin to Memphis, I think Carl Dean did a little bit better job of talking specifics.
All right, thank you, Otis. We'll be checking back with you. Appreciate it.